Welcome back to my channel. As I'm nakanye halidika our situation, let us not look like our problems. Yotago, because I've been a little bit scarce and have been unavailable for so many reasons. But one year I'm trying to get back to my groove. I'm trying to get back to business. I'm trying to get back to work as well. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. And if you're abonnable and OG, well, welcome back again. So today I want to talk about how we have glamorized Ogwu Egombute, and it is now turning into a decay in our society. The recent glamour or the recent campaign of going back to our roots, to an extent, or this is not, it is causing more problems than it is solving. To an extent, it is causing more problems than it is solving. And this is because the idea for most people, when we talk about the campaign of going back to our roots, the idea for most people, the idea for most people is how are they going to use their proximity, their relationship with their ancestors, their alignment to their ancestors for it to benefit them financially. Most people now that are into ordinary, they are not coming with the mindset of how can I use the philosophies of my ancestors? How can I learn about my heritage? How can I learn about my lineage? They are more focused on how can I use this thing to create wealth. So ordinary, instead of being a way of life or a way to life, uzondo, how you're supposed to live your life the right way, how have achievements, have foundation. What are the philosophies you can use, you can learn from ordinary and apply them into your life? Most young people now but into ordinary, they are not concerned about these particular things all our ancestors concern themselves with, which is ka anyị ga-esi wee bi ezigbo ndụ, ka anyị ga-esi wee nweta ezigbo afa, because our ancestors believe that ezi afa ka ego, a good name is better than wealth, is better than riches. But these philosophies that our ancestors used, that need twist is here. Now, for instance, kita nwa, most of the modern day music anyị na-agụ ịbalụ mmọnwụ, ibudo maba, most of these people thinking that this word ịbalụ mmọnwụ mean how wealthy are you? Kehi in our pockets. That's not the reality of our ancestors. Ịbalụ mmọnwụ, it is more like an occult of knowledge. More like an occult of knowledge, because our ancestors were basically focused on using the traditional effigies, traditional systems to hide informations, to enclose it and now disclose it to a selected few. This is what now differentiates Anofeke to Anomalu. Anofeke in our language, Anofeke, it's basically somebody that is not an initiate, which is someone that they are knowledgeable in a certain thing. Like a Dibian now is an initiate. Ndebara masquerade cults have initiate Fabrozo Ofeke, because they are now aware. Fabrozo Malo, they are aware. So Ibalomaun, it was not about wealth. It was not about being in the cult of wealth or the cult of money. It is basically being in the cult of knowledge. And those people not in those cults, I would bring out those knowledge. Ejiri obodo we making it obodo we jide we keike. Obodo ejiri we making it we bauru. Obodo ejiri we jiske ane ika no obodo no kwe fa keji we marando obodo. Eji konni we marando obodo. Eji gbamwa we marando obodo. Eji ime nka we marando obodo. On the balamawu, they were the philosophers, the foundations, and they making it, they establishing knowledge. They will now spread it. Now today, Ebalomawu means Ijigwego. So instead of us to glamorize philosophy and to glamorize foundations, we are busy glamorizing wealth, which now results to Ndina Batodinane in our Ogwu. And there is this delusion that Ndi Banyumwe, which is delusion I went now, is that I say, oh, that you don't have to sacrifice human blood. Imagine mother were war. And because most people are delusional, I believe that, oh, now dibia sem na manje mmadụ wee gwọ the ọgwụ, not just afịfịa kpatara na ofu anụmanụ. They will pay for it. They will pay for it. And some of those dibias, now there are two kinds. A dibia could say, okay, not your go go, and behind you without your consent or your knowledge, or jeje megini or jeje pete parts and mother, or he'll go and pay all these morticians in the mortuary. He's going to bribe them and collect money from them and basically, pay for all those parts and use them for, the charm. The second one, kita ga-asị gị na ọ ga-eji mgbọrọgwụ wee mere gị one or two things. And the problem not there is that our ancestors, they understood Ogwu more than us in this current generation. They understood how Ogwu can affect you positively or negatively. They also understood that every person came from a lineage, came from an ancestry, and each ancestry nwere ife ji wee yibe ngwuru. There were things that were used to establish each lineage. So because there were things that they were used to establish these lineages, we don't know what was said and why they said it. Now, the major thing was what was said. Now, for some of us, now, our ancestors swore that Ogwu in any capacity can never work for their descendants. There could be a reason why they made that proclamation. So because they said it and you are not aware, you will just instead of that Ogwu to do what you asked it to do, it would now turn to the opposite. It could start to destroy your life. It could start to destroy the foundations that you've set up for yourself. And this is because two of them cannot stand each other. Ogwu, which is the word that your ancestors said, and the new one that you're saying in this new age because of your ignorance. Now, that is the first reason why our ancestors they would stay away from Ogwu. And the second reason here is that Ogwu is so volatile that I link it to an artificial intelligence, AI. Is at some point it outgrows you. At some point it grows its own consciousness. Because by the time you keep repeatedly, now actually one or two things, at some point it will be bigger than you. And the moment it's bigger than you, it can, it becomes an amotsu that will start to take from you and the people around you. Now, this is why maybe your wife could become suffer from miscarriages. One you didn't beg an uncle or one miscarriage, or probably your siblings or your family they be sick and now all these things are broken. It is even worse. Not age is human parts were mayor, but that's like a topic for another day. So can I check over now, Keta? Ordinarily, abor an avenue for you to make any wobo. And the reason why people now behavior these DBS will now start telling them, oh, you're supposed to push, you're supposed to amplify your chi with an Ogwu. And when you amplify your chi with an Ogwu, this is when your chi will become excessively potent. 90% of people that do that, they will tell you it does not work. And that's the reality. The DBFG, most of our young men and women were not follow ego. I watch out for the thing at the end of it will not work. But I've said in one of my videos, but you're lucky if it does not work for you. You're in trouble when it works for you. So, our glamorization of these worlds, it has a root. Now, I'm looking at the music industry. The music industry, referencing here before Ebalomawu, Itilomoba, but most of the lyrics in on Ogwu and Ago these days, it revolves around how nwoke bụ nwoke or nwoke bụ nwoke based on egoji. Nwoke abụrụ nwoke na ọ bụ na o jiri ego. And this is a very, I don't know who wants to, but it is a very ridiculous thing to me, or the very stupid. Like how have we degenerated that the songs that we play even for our children to hear is focused on what? Otu nwoke bụ nwoke na ọ bụ na o nwere ego. Ọ bụ na o nwere ego gị na-emezi. So I'm looking at the institutions, few institutions, Obono, um, fact they responsible for grooming and creating the social system, the community, the environment I believe. The first one is the family. The family. The family was the first arm of socialization a child don't wear. Children are more or less their brain cells or their mind of an empty slate. Tabula rasa. All the very, very clean, all the very, very empty. Now, at each given point, parents or immediate families, they will begin to fill the cups of those children. And I have a baby, I have a child. If I'm eating, Onenemanya, she's trying to model what I'm doing. If I'm pressing my phone or if I'm trying to do something, she'll be staring at babies. They stare intensely. Oh my god, when you get them, at some point she will smile back. But her mind is trying to grasp what I'm doing. What I'm doing. This raspberry blows. I started to playfully. She learned it and she started doing it. So children, their mind they empty. They don't understand punishment. They don't understand effects and cause and effect. And when anything hammer, their brain, their mind is just a clean slate. The family, busy the first level of socialization, fills in those gaps for those children, which now boils down to kedu direwu parents in our ege around their children. What kind of songs? What do you listen to? What do you expose them to? If what you're exposing to children, because one thing about children is that children do not learn based on what you're telling them. Children learn based on what they are seeing. So when you're learning, when you're playing these music videos, Eba na Bwego, and the words na go at the end of the day is a balamango, ibunwoke bodogun, all these things, they are not creating a standard. They are not creating a foundation with those songs. Egwu a na-agụ, most of the ha na-agụ ya based on ha na-ekwu okay na life story onya na ka onya si wee gbaa mbọ na ka onya si wee create a systems lead to ego ahụ. And most times ndị ha na-glamorize bụcha ndị nwere questionable behaviors. A na-agụrụ ha egwu a na-epraise ifa. At the end of the day, the children are seeing that because most fathers these days they play those musics. They are playing it, maybe they want to ginger themselves, they want to lift their spirit. Or I personally I think that most fathers in Ege is that it is something that they don't have, and some of them want to get it. So they fantasize these rich men and fantasize those songs, hoping that one day they will gain enough system, enough wealth that their names would also be sung in those songs. Now, there is nothing bad in it. There is nothing bad in it, but when you do something too much, it becomes madness, it becomes insanity. So, and when a need for parents should start, almost if you have to listen to those songs. Don't let your children to form an opinion about those musics. Sit with them, teach them, talk with them. When you're sitting down with them, you engage with them. You discuss with them. You tell them the importance of wealth. Maybe I won't know when I go about a particular person. You can research about that individual. You could look at his biography, and if they are praising his name, you can teach your child, have a conversation with that child on how Cosmos Madoka got his wealth. Because if you leave them, they will form their own opinion. And most of those opinions is anything goes for wealth. And when children grow up with anything goes for wealth, the result is what we are seeing. People that kill their parents, people that kill their relatives, their loved ones for the love of money. Now, the second level of socialization, peer group. Peer group. Now, these songs they glorify wealth, a full luxurious cars, a full Fanorana club. It is fast becoming an anthem for young people. The minds anyị kwesịrị groom, the minds anyị kwesịrị shelter, anyị kwesịrị igosifa something like other teenagers or other teenagers in other countries, they grow not into tech, not into biology, not into agriculture. Society, media, what most kids pay attention to, it is not this aspect of life that would lead them into becoming functional human beings, but rather they are keen into this aspect of reality that is going to lead them into a dangerous life. By the time I kid a footballer boy on this car, on that car, you get they start thinking. You will go only neji nwayọ na-egru where the person will start thinking, maybe I'm not doing well enough, I'm not doing something, let me pursue it or chọwazikwa nike. Now the peer group, which is friends faninche, ndị nọ ha na nkọ, ndị nọ ha na ụkọ. Because whilst the family is the first level of socialization, peer group is the second level of socialization. The people that your children surround themselves with, what kind of philosophy did those children have? And you might do your job as a parent. You get, you never have the right, the right booklets to function. Then when they're not going to the society, for me to other people as well. So as a parent, you also need to pay attention to friends in Abian. So what kind of music do they listen to? What kind of music do they listen to? What kind of things do they see? Are they fantasizing this whole luxurious life, fast cars and money and women and all those things? So you need to pay attention to it. Now, the third one, Ketabo, the media. The media. Ibanye TV, it's in a film, especially Nigerian musics. Higafu. Bo, ebe, I want money in the bag, money in the guinea no money. I don't really listen to some music. I don't listen to music. Music na like ike, bo. People they got umo people they got Anya Dons, people they got Teresa Honora, people they got Jofia. I'm an old soul. I love listening to their songs because their songs give me value. Their songs, it enlightens, it lifts my spirit. You get, it makes you to think, think about, have deep thoughts with yourself. So these are the music I like again. I don't listen to Burna Boy, I don't listen to Davido, I don't listen, not that they are bad artists or nothing, but what they represent, it is something I don't represent. It is something that I don't believe in. So I don't waste my time on them. You get, now the media, how the music videos and then they shoot, what are they showing? They are majorly showing these young boys that they can get money, they can get what they want. No, not that they can get, they need to get money so that they can get women, they can get house, they can have access to social amenities, to things that are very inconsequential. And the thing they know that what these young boys get as if I work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard. And when so many things people work hard, now they're sustainable. That are part of moral decays. And so the question never get up, what is the media showing? I'm not saying we should ban. I'm saying that there is a need to curb. There is a need to start speaking. There's a need for parents to basically infuse themselves into the lives of their children and as well try to guide them, teach them, show them STEM, show them science, show them technology, show them other aspects of life that can basically, and tell them that life is a slow process. There's so many things that life can do. Now, I want to get an abata natural ordinary. What are we trying to promote? Are we promoting the Igbo way of life? Or are we promoting that you can get access to wealth through ordinary? If you say achụ aja nka na-agbagheli up and down na ha na-eme ihe. Now, I tell people that come to me for counseling, I tell them that I believe in ịchụ aja, but other one once in a year I can offer a sacrifice once or twice, and I follow ordinary the way it's supposed to be followed, which is Imara Chigi, Imara Bugi, Imara Di Chigi, finish. Imara Mwabe Nagi na Mwabu Negi. You visit them, you engage with them, you form a relationship, a friendship with them. I'm not going to them because I want them to give me heaven and earth. I just go there with Oji. Neomo, this is like a form of greeting when you meet an elderly woman or an elderly man. Neomo, mother, it is me. I greet you and we sit and but I just visit them saying, now, but lele, na begging. If I have something that's bugging me, I could say, okay, please help me to gain this thing. And I go back to my work. I go back to what pays me. I go back to trying to use my head, my aka. I try to use my hand. I try to use my mind. I try to use my number six to create a system that fits me. Then I'm patient enough. Then one day, one step at a time, you're building blocks. You're building blocks. But one thing I want, one thing my dear friend what I'm also know, Aja, Ajale, Ajale or Senite. When a sacrifice decays, it will rise up, which is it is another is a euphorism to anything worth gaining takes time. You have to be patient enough. And while being patient, you have to be hardworking. You have to be committed to systems. So these things are the context that most of egwu a na-agụ, most of ndị dibịa maọbụ ndị na-ekwu maka ọdịnala adịghị provide this context. I'm lucky that people who train no more or people that I listen to, Fabrondo Kochucho, they were able to counsel me to, take it easy. Life will go step by step. Ordinary bureba na akpati ego. It is not a means for you to make money. It is a way for you to be aligned with your ancestors and to grow with things around in your natural environment and to grow. Growth is the steady thing. And sometimes this growth is not just about the physical self, but the growth of the consciousness, your aka. This growth of consciousness, the growth of consciousness in the sense that when you're done with this life, you might not really when you're done with this life, you might not really see the need to come back again, which means your consciousness can now grow, can now transform into something else. But when your consciousness no grow, what will now happen to you is that you will keep repeating the cycle of reincarnation until your consciousness will grow enough for you to do what? For you to move on. Thereby saying no, mgbake ga-abazi ikelekwu mmụọ or mgbake ga-abazi obindi ichie, which is synonymous with the religious or Christian concept of heaven. So this is it. Now, what are the consequences of this glamorization of wealth? Now, the first one I want to talk about moral decay. Young people will lose respect for hard work and patience. So the more I praise wealth, the more I sing praises. Now, why that they are not enough unless that they are wealthy. We are creating a system that allow moral decay where everything goes. Now young people will lose respect for hard work and they will not be patient again. And the second one will increase in crime, which is ritual killing, fraud, and cultism, or may increase. The fourth one I make it about mental stress. I know now June, we're in June, and we are talking about men's mental health. A lot of young men are depressed because of gaining this social pressure to make it, this social pressure for wealth, this social pressure are hanging on the necks of young men on Ajibu for Ajibu. So this pressure to butego only creates mental stress because once young boy nwere ike na-afụ nwa ọgbọ ya ka o bu Lexus, onye maka na-aga ije, o mere ka ụmụ ọgbọ ya alụbago ụlọ, ọlụwabeghị ụlọ, o createzie in a system of maybe I'm not doing enough, maybe I'm not hardworking enough, maybe nna alahụ oke ụla. So this whole question of ihe ndị ọzọ na-eme m adị eme. Whereas on your own little space, you're doing well, you live in a good apartment, you can feed yourself. You make up one one Corolla Nanya, while your friend in Anya, all these big cars, and you're trying to measure up. Only creates mental stress, and it leads to frustration and depression. Now, another one get about distorted identity. Now, instead of hard work becoming the identity of ndị Igbo, wealth or ego mbute ọ bụrụzie gịnị the core identity of being onye Igbo, or dịzie in those synonymous ego mbute without foundation, or dịzie gịnị ọ dị synonymous to wealth. Mana ihe ejiri ya mara ndị Igbo bụ integrity, building of industry, wisdom, aka aja aja na-ebute ọrụ mmanụ mmanụ. As onye Igbo, you have to be committed to hard work. You have to be committed to hard work. This is why in ancient times, men were not measured based on ego family. Men were measured based on inwele ezigbo afa. Ndị nọ gị na nkọ, what do they know you for? If they know you as a bad person, only anything goes, they will disassociate from you. They will disassociate and separate themselves from you because they believe that you can do anything to get what you want. Yotago. So these are like few consequences anywhere. Now I tie this glamorization of words to music, to the media, because I believe that they are doing or they are causing more harm than good. They are not helping us. And we need to start curbing it. Now, these musicians in the without us being Dana market, they would not have a sustainable system. So if we can take a step back and ask them to give us musics that are worthwhile, musics that promote our good Igbo identity, our philosophies, then there is going to be a change in the music industries. They will start making music that encourage Omaka Gafai Banye into science, technology, mathematics and all those things, because STEM was the foundation of every society. So Ndi Igbo, we need to cue into that foundation so that we can actually grow. Then we can also merge it with our ordinary science. That's what I'm all about. We merge it with our own ordinary science, and we merge them together. Our Igbo nation, yeah, beginning all day unstoppable. So this is my little two piece, and I hope that anybody onye ọbụla come across this video, that it's you learned one or two things, and by learning one or two things, it helps you to how you navigate with your own child, and how you navigate with your younger siblings, even a young teenager. And it's not just about young teenagers, even adult men now follow up pray to this thing, but I want to catch them young. If we're able to mold and model the young minds of the young men, the upcoming ones, and then we have hope for the future. But it's all men, even to these days, women in general, but it is more peculiar to the male gender that is to the female. But onye ọbụla nọrọ egwu a, ihe a nkọwachara, you listen and you don't cherry pick, you listen and you find ways to fit it into your own reality. Until next time, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, don't forget to turn on the notification bell, and also don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, yeah guys, yeah.